How you doing? We've got something very different today. This is a Bólido Watch. It's a watch I got through the Kickstarter campaign they did back in 2017. The two people who actually came up with this company, one was the CEO and designer of Venturia watches. They're the people who did the very wild and radical digital watches, high-end digital watches with what they call micro generators, rotors to you and I. And a friend who was a designer for companies like, I've got to try and remember the names now, I believe it was Glasshutter Original, Braun, and a few of the other companies. So this is the watch I actually came up with. They wanted to produce what they called a affordable Swiss brand timepiece. I say affordable, but at the time of this video I believe their base model starts at 700 euros and goes up in price to 900 or 1000 euros for their skeletonized PVD models, which actually are really quite nice, handsome looking watches. The case of this watch is made from surgical grade stainless steel. It's a 43mm case size with a 38mm dial size. So the dial is very substantial. If you put it, I'm wearing a Zinni ZM2 at the moment, one of their more vintage models. And if you put it against this, which is a 41mm, you can see the dial is a lot larger because there simply isn't a bezel. It goes almost all the way to the edge. The lug widths are 22mm, but we'll talk a bit more about them later. The crystal on the front and both the back, as it does have a display case back, are sapphire. But as far as I can't see any AR coating on there at all, so I don't believe I've got any AR coating. Obviously the crown is at the 12 o'clock position, giving us a very unusual look, and the case is staggered, so it's 12mm at the top and tapers down to 10mm here, which is quite nice when you're actually looking at the watch because it means the watch is actually facing you. So there you go. The movement, it's also 100m water resistant, which for a watch of this type, let's face it, not really a diver's watch, but 100m is more than enough. I would have expected something like 30 or 50 to be fair, but they did include 100m of water resistancy. What's interesting about this, apart from its sheer looks there, is there's no case back. So like where we talked last week about the Seiko tuner, this is the same in that it all goes through the front. And they've got quite an interesting way of doing that, where the Seiko tuner's got a ring which holds the case, the sapphire crystal in. There is a small screw on the back there, and you undo that screw, and basically that enables the watchmaker to take the crown out, and then they put compressed air through, which will allow the crystal to pop off and so get into the movement. The movement is a Seiko time performance movement, precision movement, STP111. It's a decorated movement, which is quite nice because you can actually see it, obviously automatic, because you can see the decorated Bólido rotor they've got in there. 44 power reserve, 26 joule. It's been regulated in 5 positions, which in layman's terms basically means it's accurate. I find on the wrist I get approximately about 3 to 4 seconds a day deviation maximal. It also has a date window right down there at 6 o'clock. You almost miss it. It is quick set and it's hand wind and hackable. In fact, getting to the crown stem is quite good because they've actually put a small release area in the back for you to enable you to get a fingernail under there to lift it up. The dial is what I love the most about this watch. It's very clean, very legible, and let's just think about it. It is just a very clean dial. You look at it and there's no, even the date window on most watches is at the 3 o'clock. Obviously here it isn't, and it blends in at 6. I almost wish more companies would do that because it gives it an air of symmetry, which is, it's just a nice touch, and I feel that more watchmakers could actually go for that, but they don't, so there you go. The strap here isn't actually the original strap, to be fair. It was a deployment clasp type with rubber housing, rubber bands, and I hate to say it, relatively cheap deployment clasp. And I found that it enabled the watch to roll on my wrist a little bit, so I picked these up. I found them on eBay, incredibly cheap, and they're very, very soft rubber. They have a quick release mechanism in the back, so you don't need a tool. I even have a red and a white one, which it looks really, really good on. But two criticisms I would say about the watch. One is the loom isn't the best. I'll drop a few shots in. It's a very nice loom colour, but it doesn't last all that long, but it is what it is. The other one is the lugs being 22mm. You'd think you can put obviously quite a few different types of bands on there, and what I find is you simply can't, because the spring bar holes are located so close to the case that you just simply can't get the spring bars in if you've got a chunky leather strap on there, which is a bit of a shame. The rubber ones are good because they're compliant and it enables you to kind of wiggle it around to get the spring bars in. So you are limited. Most NATO straps won't even work on this because it's too close. What would have been better, instead of making these round, if they could have flattened them off just a little bit, but I dare say you can't because of the housing inside, it would have made it easier. By the way, it's also a 4 Hz movement, I forgot to negate it to mention, so you've got a nice clean sweep of the second hand. Apart from that, it's lovely. It's a watch that gets a lot of attention. It's good or bad. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's a Marmite watch, we'd say in England. That means you love or hate it. But it's different, and that's what sometimes is more interesting when things are different. So there you go. That's just a very quick and straightforward review of my Bólido watch. Okay, all the best. Thanks for watching. Bye.